Circle around. Ooh.
You're welcome. No. That's not me.
Yeah, they always call me Richard Lionheart. That wasn't really me either.
Everything fine? Everything good? One question, are you also possible to record it simultaneously?
Yes.
Yeah. Could you do this, please? I would very much be grateful to have this recording for later. Even if it's not very good quality, it doesn't matter.
Actually,
Ranga Devi, shall I keep it to this?
Yes, yes, please. Yes, thank you. This I have to take some water.
the same stream quality as we broadcast on the internet. But if you want, because at the moment I cannot put the same quality as the camera has. I will only the lower quality, but we send to the internet. But
Yeah, the problem is that there is not enough space on the card. I mean, there is no card, but the camera space is not enough space.
Okay, but in the breaks, I told you that in the breaks you can download the film and the break, and we can download it. If you want to do it, if it's okay, this quality is okay, I already started recording.
I think it's okay. But you cannot record through your camera. You can only do it through the computer.
Yes, because I don't have cassette.
Oh, okay. It's a cassette camera.
Yeah,
okay.
but actually I can record on the computer the same quality, but not now. Then we broadcast on the internet. If we didn't broadcast on the internet, I could record in good quality.
But the internet quality means that if the internet is slow, then the recording will also be cutting, or
no, the internet is okay.
it's just a pixel question.
Actually, we need to decrease the quality on the internet because the internet cannot handle that so much data.
Yeah, but this is like what we are speaking the quality. Then it's like this pixel quality, not the smoothness and so on.
Both.
Both.
So the smoothness is okay. Pixel quality.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think pixel quality is fine. It's no problem. It doesn't need to be like high tech. It's just that it's for internet anyway. We will not show it in the cinema or something. You know, it's just that we can put it in YouTube and people can look it also later who are not here.
Ah, okay.
So it's
Actually, on YouTube has very good quality. Yeah, HD quality nowadays. So
yeah, but our people will anyway look it through the small computer, so it will not be like a big difference.
Is he here?
He was upstairs.
Maybe we can do like this. We do 5 minutes, 10 minutes bhajan, and then we start with Chai Radha, and then maybe you can start with cooking or something. Or you want to do the bhajan? No.
actually, it's already started.
Already started?
Yes. So because we advertise from 2.
So then we should start.
Yes.
Okay, I come. Start. facing Ranga?
Not yet. I'm sorry.
Bhagavan, do you want to come and play a bocce? Yeah? Because they started with the TV already.
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
think they start.
And you start at 2 o'clock.
David, can you put this inside?
Yes.
And then when I say you put on, and when not, then you put off. You put break, and then when next time I need you go on. This is possible?
Yes.
Yeah? This is possible. Thank you so much.
And just would like to ask how long, because I need to be there.
Just I can just.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
then I need a way on. Maybe do you have this?
I have a remote. There is a remote.
Yeah.
Great.
David, can I remove your bags there? Put them, can I put those bags further in the back there? Do we have this space for sitting?
I can put here because maybe I need something. Could you do it there, because in that way you can be on the in the lap.
No. No?
I can do something, but
I don't want to be on the
Good enough.
Do I really need it?
yes, now.
Actually, we advertise like this.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
Put away all personal considerations. And
You're not playing?
guy I'm playing, he requests me to sit here.
Oh, nice. Yes, sure.
Please let me know when you're starting, okay? I like to catch my tune first.
Ramka Devi.
It's already started.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'm very bad.
not yet there. Maybe next time. Please. Can you take that, please? Against the wall.
Thank you so much for coming here. It's really wonderful. Maybe we can put this a little later, if it's fine. It's really wonderful you came here. I know today there are so many programs, but you came here. We already started yesterday to have an introduction of Caitanya Mahaprabhu going to Vrindavan. Actually, he had two attempts where he wanted to go, and then only the third time he could reach. So this was a little the introduction of the topic. Now Caitanya Mahaprabhu, when he left to Puri, he was 24 years staying in Navadvip and 24 years in Puri, and and especially the last 12 years, he was completely in an inner absorption, being in Puri. So today we want to speak some secrets in what Caitanya Mahaprabhu was actually absorbed. It's a very high topic, I'm very aware of that. So maybe some of you feel, what she's speaking here? Or don't catch every detail. So please, when you're here, just try to take whatever you can and try to absorb the mood, what is behind, what do the acharyas express, and take what you can. Generally, a seminar or like this is here to give a sensibilization. It's not that we hear something, we are not anymore Shrutidars, at one time we hear it and we can just remember everything, it would be nice. But unfortunately we are in Kali Yuga and many of us forget a lot. But you can all come a little in that side maybe. But you're not on this side. So we hear it maybe one time and catch a little bit. And the next time we hear something, oh yeah, we have heard from that before, and we can receive more. So it's like a puzzle in your life, and you put more and more pieces, and suddenly it becomes a beautiful picture of Radha and Krishna and their pastimes and their associates, the Holy Dham. It's a whole world that suddenly manifests, or slowly manifests, gradually manifests in your heart. So today, I try to present you a little bit of this very intimate or very deep pastimes of Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And the beauty is, it is said, Krishna's leelas, Caitanya Mahaprabhu's leelas are so sweet like nectar, and Krishna's leelas are like camphor, and when you mix them together it becomes supremely sweet. So this is what we today want to do, to look at the ending chapters of Caitanya Mahaprabhu and his absorption in Puri with the Bhagavatam together, Srimad Bhagavatam, the chapters of Rasa Panchadhyaya, the 5 chapters of Ras Lila. Actually, everything I will speak today is mostly from Chaitanya Charitamrita and Sarartha Darshini, the commentaries of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, which I personally like very much. It's a very sweet mood. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Swayam Bhagavan, Jaya Jaya Gaurachandra Bhakta Ganapran, Jaya Jaya Nityananda Chaitanya Chivan, Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora Priyatan, Jaya Svarup Shrivasadi Prabhu Bhaktagan, Shakti Deha Karyena Chaitanya Varnam. When Krishna was just disappearing from this world, he had a very special thought in his mind. He was thinking, for so long time, I have not bestowed the highest love for this world, in this world, for the inhabitants of the world. I have done so many pastimes in Braj, in Giriraj, in all the 12 forests, but actually, for long still, I feel I have not given my greatest love for the inhabitants. And the world without this greatest attachment of Prema Bhakti has not really any use. Many people follow the scriptural injunctions and worship me very nicely, following all the Vaidhi, Bhakti, the Vidis, all the rules and regulations, but honestly to say, it's not impressing me a lot. What more attracts me is the love of all the inhabitants, the devotees of Braj Bhumi. When you follow all the rules and regulations, you may come to Vaikuntha or attain the 4 different liberations, but you cannot attain me in Braj. Therefore, I shall personally come and inaugurate the Nam Sankirtan. I will make the whole world dance in ecstasy and give them the 4 mellows of devotional service. I will give them a relationship to me, and being in love with me, they will forget everything else. But when I do this, I have to practice it myself. How can I be a teacher without doing it myself? So therefore, I will come as a devotee and teach. It is said in Bhagavati already that I have said in Kurukshetra that time that whatever a great person is doing or performing, many people will follow that. So therefore, I have to give this example. Many of my plenary portions and incarnations can actually establish the Yuga Dharma, the religious principles in this age. But if I want to give the love of the residents of Vrindavan, I have to come myself. Nobody else can give that. It is beautifully said, it's a beautiful verse in Padyavali, where it is said that there are so many avatars who have come in this world, and each avatar had his gift to the world. But who could give prema? Krishna had so much love that for it, that every creeper he saw, he gave prema bhakti. That is the love of Krishna. So I have to come myself in the company of all my devotees, and we perform so many colorful pastimes in this world. Thinking like this, the Lord Krishna descended to Navadvip and took birth in the home of Sachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra. Krishna says that actually he wants to do pastimes that even are amazing to him. He doesn't want now to come as a devotee and perform just ordinary pastimes, but he wants to do a special, very special pastimes that is very astonishing and amazing to him. And what is this? Chaitanya Charitamrita says this and explains this. Anarpita Charim Chirat Kununarvavita Kalo Samarpaitum Unnachvala Rasa Svabhakti Shriam. So he wants to give the most radiant and sublime love. And what is this? The amorous love that is manifested actually in Radha and Krishna. The Mahaprabhu of Srimati Radharani. Thinking like this, Krishna came to Nadia, and he's Krishna himself, but now he became golden, takes a golden complexion, a kanti, and the bhav, the moods of Srimati Radharani. But this is not so easy. Krishna cannot steal just the complexion and the mood of Radharani. So what he will do? It is said that Caitanya Mahaprabhu in Adilila, in chapter 4, it is says Prema rasa niryas karite asvadan raga marga bhakti loke karite pracharan. So what is the mission of Caitanya Mahaprabhu? To taste his own prema rasa, like to taste the prema rasa, and to distribute the raga marg, the spontaneous loving devotion. But this is only his external mission. His internal mission he reveals in another part of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Shri Radha Pranaya Mahima. There he says, Krishna is wondering. He's thinking, what is really the love of Srimati Radharani? I am the supreme truth. The primary cause of all relationships and of all bliss in this world. But still, I see that Radharani has so much love that this love somehow turns me mad. And her love is like a teacher for me. Whenever I see her reflected in a tree or on the floor or anywhere in Vrindavan, I just start to dance in ecstasy behind her reflection. This is my teacher. And whatever I taste, I see Radharani tastes it 10 million times more. If I walk bare feet on Govardhan Hill and I have a little bit pain from the thorns, I know Radharani feels 10 million times more what I feel. And I'm full of contradictions also in my heart. And her love is also full of contradictions. It's very amazing, but it's without pride. Her love is so perfect and it expands more and more. The only thing I can also experience what she experienced if I become the abode of love, the ashraya. Now Krishna is Vishaya, he's the one who is enjoying. Now he wants also be the one who gives joy. So therefore Krishna thinks, the first wish he has, like I want to experience Radharani's love. Then the second wish he has, he thinks, what is the sweetness that she tastes? I know she has so much love, but what is actually what she tastes? Radharani is like prema darpana. Prema darpana is how much love you have to someone. This is like the more sweetness you see in the person. Sometimes you see two very ugly persons, but yet the person has so much love for the other person and he just sees the sweetness. So even if the person itself is not beautiful, but Krishna is the most beautiful person and Radharani is the person who has most love for Krishna. So whatever the sweetness that she reflected in her mirror of the heart, that increases thousands of times. So her love, seeing Krishna's beauty, her love is increasing more and more. And Radharani, just the gopis also think, why do we have eyelids that close? Really, the Creator has done a big mistake. Because we should become fishes. They don't have to close always the eyes because it hinders us to see the beauty of Krishna. To see all his Venu Madhuri, Rupa Madhuri, all his Madhuris that he has. Prem Madhuri. So all he has in his heart. Then the third question, Mahaprabhu, or desire he has, what is the happiness that she experiences in her heart? Krishna knows that it is Radharani who gives him the most happiness. In all the worlds, nothing is attracting really for Krishna, only Srimati Radharani. His body is so fragrant. Krishna's body, we will hear it later, how it smells. But the scent of Radharani's limbs just makes him fall unconscious. His touch is so cooling, like millions of moon, but when Radharani touches him, it's so refreshing. He's the source of all happiness, but Krishna feels that Radharani, with all her qualities and attributes, is my life and soul. So therefore, Krishna understands, actually Radharani is more qualified than me, because she's the source of all my happiness. When she hears the bamboo trees in the forest coming to each other and giving a sound, Radharani thinks it's the flute and she's running towards these bamboo trees. Sometimes she sees a dark tamal tree and just sees the dark complexion of this tree and thinks it is Krishna and goes and embraces the tree. How much love Radharani has. Sometimes there is a small favorable breeze coming from the Yamuna, fragrant with the pollen of all the lotus flowers. And when Radharani feels this breeze, she just wishes to fly and enter this breeze. She forgets everything else when she thinks of me. Bharat Muni has actually done a mistake. He says that the lover and the beloved, like a couple, both have the same love. But he has done a mistake, this great scholar. Actually, Radharani has much more love than I have. And it's also interesting that normally someone who is less qualified, he loves someone or surrenders someone who is more qualified. But I see that Radharani is much more qualified. And how astonishing that she is surrendering to me. She has so much happiness in that heart. So I like to taste this happiness that she is experiencing. In that way, Caitanya Mahaprabhu, or Krishna, was feeling, had its inner desires to come to fulfill as Caitanya Mahaprabhu, to taste the love that Radharani has for him, that he himself as Krishna cannot taste. Caitanya Mahaprabhu, when we want to understand Caitanya Mahaprabhu, we can never think of Krishna. We always have to think of Radharani, because he's Krishna who wants to be in the mood of Radharani. So Caitanya Mahaprabhu's leelas are very deep and very mysteric, and we have to know a little bit something about Radharani. Radharani, as Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, so Radharani herself never leaves Navadvip. This is Vrishabhanu Nandini. It's a form of Radharani where she's together with Krishna in Vrindavan, and she's never going, as Krishna never goes Vrindavanam Parityajasva Kvachim Naiva Gacchati. He never goes out of Vrindavan. So in the same way, Radharani never goes out. So this mood of Radharani being in Vrindavan is experienced by Caitanya Mahaprabhu when he's in Navadvip, in his pastimes in Navadvip. It's just a little technical, so if you don't have to follow so much, but just those who have interest with this detail. Then when Radharani, Samyogini Radharani, is when Radharani goes to Kurukshetra and she meets Krishna again after a long time, after he left to Mathura and to Dwaraka. And she meets again, Samyogini means meeting, there in Kurukshetra. In this mood is a special mood where Radharani is in, and this is also expressed of Caitanya Mahaprabhu at Godavari, meeting Roy Ramananda. And then is Viyogini Radha, in great separation of Krishna. It's also Radharani when she's in Nandagaon, when Krishna is gone to Dwaraka. And this is mainly the mood that Caitanya Mahaprabhu experiences in Puri, where we speak about today. So we will speak about a lot of the moods of Caitanya Mahaprabhu in Puri. It is said, Yata Yata Gora Padaraminde, when you enter very deeply the pastimes of Caitanya Mahaprabhu, then very easily you can enter the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, especially of Radharani. You can understand. Narottam Das Thakur also say, when you dive in the ocean of Chaitanya Lila, where you end up, you come up in Radha Kund. So it's Caitanya Mahaprabhu's Leelas, it's a very beautiful entrance in the Leelas of Radha Krishna, and they just belong together like two rooms of a house, like two prakosh, two rooms that somehow belong together. Caitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance is also described in another Leela of Radha and Krishna that is very beautiful. Maybe we can. In Swapna Vilasamrita of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he very beautifully described how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. Then he says, Srimati Radharani and Krishna, they wake up, and Radharani looks at Krishna and says, "Oh my beloved, I had a dream this night, a very special dream. I dreamed I saw the Yamuna, but actually there it was different. There was a young, beautiful Brahmin boy dancing, very effulgent. He didn't have hair, like he had shaved hair, his arms upraised and completely absorbed in singing the holy names. Sometimes he called out Krishna, sometimes Radha. Sometimes he fall on the ground unconsciously, and sometimes he wildly jumped up in the air. And dancing like this in ecstasy, he made the whole world dance in ecstasy, loudly calling the holy name. Oh Krishna, seeing this, I'm completely bewildered. I was thinking, is he you or is he me? Who is he? I'm completely bewildered. Krishna was smiling and said, Hey Radhe, I showed you many forms like Narayan, but you were never confused and bewildered. How is it that this young, beautiful boy can bewilder you and surprise you? And Krishna touched his Kaustubha jewel, and suddenly in the Kaustubha jewel, all the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of this young Brahmin boy, were manifesting. Radharani started to understand. She looked at Krishna and said, now I understand. He is you, but he is also me. He is none different than us. By your own transcendental potency, you will appear like this, in a yellow complexion. Gargacharya was not wrong when he said you will come as in golden complexion. Now I see it, and he will drown the whole world in the beautiful holy names, in singing of the holy names. So Radharani had this dream of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appearing. But as I said before, how did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu get the complexion? He could not steal it from Radharani. He needed to have the permission. In Radharasudanidhi, Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur has a small, very sweet lila, where he gives the hint how Radharani gives the consent that he can take her mood and complexion. The divine couple was meeting. They were on a flower bed and enjoying each other. And being together, their body was covered with drops of sweat, with perspiration, and the maidservants were fanning them in the kunj. And Radharani said, hey, quickly dress me before my girlfriends come, otherwise I will feel very shy. So Krishna started to dress her and decorate her and painting very beautiful decoration on her body. And as he was painting on her chest, he suddenly, as her body was a little wet from the perspiration, he suddenly saw his own reflection in her body, like two of them appeared in her body, in her chest. And Krishna was very astonished about the beauty and the sweetness, and he completely was enchanted that he felt himself like Radharani or a friend of her, and seeing Krishna. And he said to Radharani, hey Radhe, I see two very beautiful boys on your chest. They shine like blue lotus flowers and they completely charm me. Please, Radharani, make me your girlfriend. Only when I'm a friend of you, then I can be close to him. only when I'm actually with you, then I know He will accept me too. I'm completely yours, please accept me. So in this most ecstatic love, Krishna was speaking, and at that moment Radharani was just smiling, giving her consent that yes, you can appear, you can be one of me, like my friends, but also myself, and taste and enjoy or give joy. This is beautiful, sweet boy. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leelas are very, very deep and very connected to Radha and Krishna's Leelas. That Chaitanya comes is actually the most inner desire of Krishna, to understand the deep love of Srimati Radharani. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leelas are very, very deep and, as I said, very mysterious. Sometimes Mahaprabhu comes in the mood of Radharani, sometimes he chants like Gopi, 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 or Krishna, Krishna. So he's always in different moods, and sometimes when the students told to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, hey, why are you not chanting? Why are you chanting Gopi? Why are you chanting the name of Krishna? Mahaprabhu took a stick and ran after them. Why? Because he himself was that time absorbed in the mood of a maidservant of Radharani. And Krishna many times came very late to the meeting place, and the maidservants got very angry. So they didn't want to hear anything about Krishna. So that time in this mood, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took a stick and ran after the others. So these are all internal absorption that are so deep and so mysterious. And it is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, only a very advanced and learned person can understand these moods. And he himself says, I'm just fluffing out a compressed cotton now when I describe all these Leelas. Whatever the great acharyas have written about it, I just take the remnants and present it, what they have, just a little more detailed. He said that when Ananta just wants to describe one day of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with thousands of mouths, it is impossible. When Ganesh, the son of Shiva, who wrote all the Vedas, who wants to speak or write about one day of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is not capable. Even Krishna himself is struck with wonder hearing of the Leelas of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So then, what we can do? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that someone who wants to describe those Leelas is like a dwarf want to catch the moon. There's so much difference. Or like the wind that blows over the ocean. The wind just can't catch a drop of the ocean. It cannot carry the ocean away. Maybe the wind catches a drop. So in the same way, entering or describing those Leelas, we can just have a very small insight. It is an endless ocean with no limits, and is even always increasing, this ocean. So when can we taste it, or when we just can taste a small drop? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says but a very beautiful thing. He says, if an ordinary living entity tries to describe those Leelas, then he just purifies himself. So with this intention, we just like to hear a little bit of those lilas, and if we just can catch a small piece of a drop, so we are very, very happy and very satisfied and blissful in our hearts. Rasa Lila. Maybe we can stop shortly. Rasa Lila is something that is considered very high in Srimad Bhagavatam. There is Rasa and Rasa. Rasa means these are the emotions that someone feels. And what is Ras Lila? Ras Lila is written with a long A. This is Rasanam Samuha Iti Ras. There where all the pastimes and all the feelings and relationships are tasted and relished, this is Ras Lila. So it's something very beautiful. Ras Lila is the Lila where Krishna actually tastes the relationship of each one, of each gopi. Ras Lila is also called Lila Chudamani, is the crest jewel of all Lilas. And the Rasa Panchadhyay, these 5 chapters of Ras Lilas, are called, this is the life air of Srimad Bhagavatam, or the heartbeat of Srimad Bhagavatam. It's very interesting that whenever someone was writing commentary, our great teachers were writing commentary on all the Srimad Bhagavatam, wherever they came to Ras Lila, they all first gave their obeisances and prayed to all their teachers and to all the gopis to enter there. Uddhav, when Krishna left and Uddhav met Vidura, he spoke about all the pastimes of Krishna, but when he came to Ras Lila, Uddhav could not speak anymore. So deep is this topic that we are speaking today. And Srila Prabhupada says very beautiful. He says the Lord is Sachidananda, and every part, and he likes every part and parcel of his different potencies to take part in his blissful ras, means in his blissful relationship. Because participation with the Lord in the eternal Ras Lila is the highest living condition, perfect in spiritual bliss and knowledge. So for all our acharyas, and Rupa Goswami described it in Nectar of Instruction, or also other acharyas were speaking of it, that actually the Ras Lila is one of the highest Lila and our great goal to go. Ras Lila, is said, is like a powerful medicine consisting of mantras and jewel. Ras Lilas has the inconceivable spiritual potency to attract the polluted hearts of conditioned souls. So there is always a great discussion, what is the qualification to enter Ras Lila? Is it not too high? Can we enter? Once a sadhu very sweetly said to me in Vrindavan, when I met him, I asked him, is it not, when we had a discussion, and I asked, is this not too high? Then he said, you can only think that something is too high when you're completely materially absorbed. That's very beautiful. But of course, some qualification is needed, because we cannot also harbor the material conceptions on the Ras Lila. We have to be a little bit careful and like following what the acharyas have told about it. But Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti says something very beautiful. He says the only qualification to enter Ras Lila is to have a human body. So this is the qualification. And when we read Ras Lila, it is that all this mood come also into our heart. many times you feel, yeah, is it right what Krishna was doing there in the Ras Lila? And Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says so beautiful, actually Krishna is the super soul of all. He's embracing the gopis, and any soul Krishna is embracing as the super soul anyways in our heart. So what is the mistake when he dances with them and embraces them in the Braj Leelas? It is also said that Krishna is like a boy playing with his reflection, because all the gopis are actually Krishna's energy. He's Shaktiman, and all the gopis are Kaya Vyuha, means expansion, direct expansion from Krishna, his energies. And so if I embrace myself, nobody is disturbed. So in the same way, Krishna, when he embraces his energy, is something very natural. And it is said when one hears of this Ras Lila, one becomes a servant of the Lord. And hearing this Ras Lila, one becomes very dedicated to the Lord. In Bhagavatam, this verse is quoted, Anugrahaya Bhaktanam Manusham Deham Astitta Prachate Dadrishim Krida Yashrutvatvat Taro Bhavet. The Lord manifests all the pastime for what purpose? Just to attract all the souls and give them dedication to Krishna. So therefore he manifests all these beautiful pastimes, so we can hear about it and be completely absorbed in the pastimes of the Lord. Now Ras Lila, it's not that Shukadev Goswami just goes in the first chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam in Ras Lila, but it is a little hidden and covered in the Srimad Bhagavatam in between. And before going to Ras Lila, Shukadev Goswami gives a bhumika, an introduction to the whole Ras Lila. Means few chapters and pastime that prepare the soul to enter to hear the Ras Lila pastimes. It starts actually the Bhumika with the Venu Gita, where Krishna has not yet met with Radharani and he plays his flute. He will just speak about it. And then how Krishna steals the garments of the gopis, or he steals all the shyness of the gopis, where the Brahmanas' wives are blessed because they give Krishna something to eat while their husbands don't allow Krishna to eat because their sacrifice has not, their yajna has not been finished yet. So Krishna takes away all the self-control, the maryada, and in Giriraj Leela, he shows that he's the supreme shelter, and that all the Brijbasis wanted to give their first grains in autumn to Indra, as they have done over many years in their family tradition. But Krishna said, no, don't give it to Indra, give it to Giriraj. Because actually we have just interest that our cows are fed and that our cows are well. So this is Giriraj who cares. Indra doesn't do anything for our cows. So let's worship Giriraj. So Krishna breaks the whole family tradition. And then Nanda Maharaj is rescued, the glorification of Vrindavan. So in this whole preparation, prepares the soul to enter the pastimes of Ras Lila in a very beautiful way. In Venu Gita, it was, maybe we can make a little softer possible, just very little. Just very little. So in Ras Lila, in Venu Gita, is the first part of the introduction. And I shortly want to say something about Venu Gita. It was in the rainy season was going on, and everything became very green and beautiful. And Krishna had already danced on the snake of Kaliya, had showed his artistic skill of dancing and attracted the gopis. And by stealing the clothes of the gopis, he had promised the gopis that in the coming nights I will spend with you and dance with you. But Krishna had not yet fulfilled his promise. So this was on his mind, and his heart was somehow churned more and more, thinking of the gopis. And Krishna walked through the forest, and he saw some small messages. The Pulinda girls, the inhabitants, were speaking. Hey Krishna, don't torment Radharani how you have tormented your Murli. Krishna didn't understand what they were saying. He knew that his flute has gone through many tapasya, to be burned with iron rod, to make the holes and lying in the sun. But still he could not really understand. He heard an aural voice when he was walking through the forest that was telling him that actually he should try out the separation of Radharani. And he saw some messages written in kumkum, in red powder, on the trees in Vrindavan. And seeing all that, then Krishna understood. Actually, Radharani has so much love, and I have to mitigate the fire of her separation. I want now to invite all the gopis to come to dance as I have promised, but how can I do it? The gopis are in their houses doing the household duties. They have all the elders and superiors around them. And there are so many gopis. What should I do? Should I go every night and knock on every door and ask them, please come to me and dance with me? So what should I do? So, being a little desperate what to do, Krishna had an idea. I have to take shelter of my Murli, of my flute. The flute is a very good messenger, a duty, and the flute will help me to call all the gopis when I want to dance. But I have not practiced yet the flute, so first I have to practice a little. So Krishna tilted his neck a bit on the left, on his left shoulder, took the Murli on his lower lip and started to play. While Krishna was playing, his eyebrow danced, and everything started to dance, his kundal and all around him. And as Krishna played, he had very soft hands. He had not yet experience, and his hands, the tips of his hands, with his fingers became very red. But Krishna started to see what happens when he starts to play beautiful tunes. He thought, if I now call the gopis, it will have not yet resolved. First I should try what is the effect when I play my flute. Okay, first I will concentrate the flute on different objects in the forest. So Krishna started to practice the flute, and he started to put to call for example the clouds, and the clouds heard the flute. They all came, and as an umbrella they came over Krishna and showered raindrops. Then he, you concentrate the sound of the flute on the deers. Then all the deers, they came very affectionately towards Krishna and just looked at him and performed their arati with their eyes. When Krishna concentrated the sound on the cows, they stopped to eat the fresh grass. Although they had the fresh grass in their mouth, they put up their ears, not one drop of this beautiful music falls out of their ears. And the calves, they stopped to drink the milk, and the milk was just running down and dropped on the grass, and the grass then stood erect in ecstasy. Then Krishna concentrated the sound of his flute on the birds, and the birds became very silent. Although everybody danced in the forest, but the birds became silent, and they listened like munis, Atmaramas, self-realized souls. In meditation they started to listen. So in that way Krishna was sending the flute sound in different direction, and he was himself astonished how every creature started to change their nature. The rivers didn't flow as normal to the oceans, their husbands, but started to flow in the other direction, taking with their hands their lotus and offering to Krishna. So Krishna was very astonished, and he tried and tried more and practiced more his flute till he got 6 cities in playing the flute. What are the 6 cities that Krishna attained? The first one is Mohitva, the power to bewilder everyone. Krishna needed this because when he was playing the flute, he wanted to call the gopis so that they're completely in love with him and just leave everything and come to the forest. And the second is Stambanatva. They become stunned. Stunned means like they become very ecstatic. A lot of ecstasies manifest in their heart. The other city, the perfection that this flute now had, was Lakashanatva, the power of attraction. Whenever Krishna played, everybody was attracted of this flute sound. And especially the gopis' heart was so much churned and overwhelmed. Then the next one is Uchatan. It destroys all dedication. But it's not the dedication to Krishna, but dedication to their household work. So whatever the gopis were doing, whenever Krishna played the flute, they forgot everything, but they had their duties. Then Maranatva, that all obstacles went away. There was Chatila, there were Kutila, so many. The mother-in-law and sister-in-law, they were very much controlling, especially Radharani. So it was very difficult for Radharani to go and meet Krishna. But when Krishna played this flute and this obstacle was removed, means when Krishna played the flute, then sometimes Chatila and Kutila just fell asleep when he played, and the gopis could go and meet with Krishna. And also their shyness was not hindering them. And the last 6th one is Vasikanatva, that playing the flute, Krishna could control everyone. So it's a power of control that he had with his flute. But this was necessary, otherwise how could Krishna attract everybody? When the gopis first time heard the flute, they went a little out of the house, but then they became shy and returned again to the house. Then they heard again the flute, they went a little further, but then again they returned. Then the next time they went a little further, but they returned. Till Krishna had these 6 cities in flute playing, these 6 perfections, that he could attract the gopis for the rasa dance. And this was in Ashwin month. It became autumn. The full moon was appearing in the sky, because in the rainy season are many clouds. But now the clouds went away and the full moon was visible with all the beautiful stars. And all the waters of the lakes became clear after the rainy season. Everything was so green and beautiful, the flowers were just opening. So Krishna was very attracted. It was a mood manifesting now in the nature that helped Krishna or encouraged Krishna to perform the rasa dance. For 2 years, the gopis were burning in separation, but now Krishna started to play the flute and calling everybody for the rasa dance. So this is the small introduction we now had about who is Caitanya Mahaprabhu and what is Ras Lila. What we are now want to go in, it's a very beautiful and a very deep Lila, but we don't want to just run into that, but we want to go into the Leelas of Caitanya Mahaprabhu in Puri that are described in the last chapters of Caitanya Charitamrita, and see how all now these moods of the rasa dance, of these chapters in rasa dance, manifest in the heart of Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Now the time, I know, is always very short, and I know one sadhu who was speaking 3 months on one verse of Ras Lila. So what can we say now? I mean, I could not speak on 3 months, honestly, on one verse. I have not that insight and not that realization. But when we can just touch a little bit, and even today I can just give you a few jewels of Ras Lila, but I think it's something just to inspire you, and something that just, it is said also, Srila Prabhupada said that wherever you touch Srimad Bhagavatam, it's so sweet. It's like a sugar candy. You can lick it from different sides, but in all sides it tastes sweet. So in Bhagavatam, wherever we open, whichever verse we read, it's very sweet, and especially if we combine it with Caitanya Charitamrita, it's supremely sweet. In this last chapter, starting with the 13th chapter in Antya Lila, Caitanya Mahaprabhu or Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is very cryptically, very hiddenly describing the Ras Lila. So today, I think, Rangadevi, can we still do a little bit? Or are you already hungry? I think we can do one more chapter.
They are hungry.
We still can do a little bit, maybe half an hour, and then we make a short break. So yesterday we were speaking on Caitanya Mahaprabhu going to Vrindavan, and Caitanya Mahaprabhu, like this attempt to go to Vrindavan, first, maybe for those who were not here yesterday, first time when after taking sannyas, Caitanya Mahaprabhu just wanted to leave for Vrindavan. He was just running, and Nityananda tricked him, and they all went to Shantipur to pacify the hearts of the inhabitants of Navadvip, which were in great separation of Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So the second, then he went to Puri, and from Puri it was very astonishing that he was going to South India, although his burning heart he wanted to go to Vrindavan. We said that there is one explanation could be that in separation in Vipralamba, the spurti, a vision comes of Aishwarya, of Shivarya Bhav, and there Aishwarya forms are manifesting. So in the heart of Caitanya Mahaprabhu, Aishwarya forms of Krishna manifested in this great fire of separation, and therefore he went to South India to have the darshans of all these forms that actually now increase the fire of separation of Vrindavan much more. Then he came back to Puri, and then on Vichayadashami he left again. He wanted to go first to Vidyanagar, then to Kulia, and then he went to Ramakeli meeting Rupa and Sanatan, and then to Kanainata Shala. But as Nishinga Brahmachari constructed in meditation the path and then stopped in Kanainata Shala, they all understood now Mahaprabhu will not reach Vrindavan, and he turned back to Puri. And then the next time, a little bit later, after Chaturmasya, he left, and then he went with Balabhadra Bhattacharya over Varanasi, over Charikanda forest. He travelled to Vrindavan, and but was staying actually only maybe 2 months there, so not really long, and then turned back to Puri. He always said, "I'm coming again," but he never went again to Vrindavan. So in all these pastimes, we see there is an increasement, an intensity now that increases in the heart of Caitanya Mahaprabhu towards Vrindavan and towards the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So beginning with the chapter 13, now you can follow this mood of Mahaprabhu. It's now more, he's now back in Puri, but his love and his moods of Vrindavan are increasing more and more in separation. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami now beautifully is starting to describe the pastimes of Jagadananda. That gives a beautiful hint. Jagadananda was living with Mahaprabhu in Puri, but Mahaprabhu was sleeping always on dry plantain trees on the floor, and Jagadananda always wanted that the Lord feels satisfied. And he made a very beautiful bed out of cotton from the shimula tree that is very soft, and prepared the cushion and the cover and put it on the place of Mahaprabhu. But when Mahaprabhu came, he was asking, who has put this? I'm a sannyasi, why should I sleep like a sense enjoyer on this very beautiful bed? Swarup Govinda, his servant, said, "Oh, this is Jagadananda Pandit who made it." Then Mahaprabhu became very fearful, because Jagadananda was very strong, and when he rejected something from him, then Jagadananda became very angry. So, how to solve this situation? Swarup Damodar had an idea. He put together some dry leaves of banana left from banana tree, which were a little bit softer, and prepared a beautiful bed from these banana leaves. But Jagadananda became very angry at Mahaprabhu. Didn't speak with him anymore. And he came to Mahaprabhu and said, "Hey, I want to go to Vrindavan. Before I already want to go, but now I really want to go." Mahaprabhu said, "Oh, you only want to go because you're angry at me. And when you go there and you're so angry, you do so many offenses. I cannot let you go." No, I really desired this before." Jagadananda went to Swarup Damodar and imparted him his heart that he wanted to go. So Swarup Damodar went and spoke with Mahaprabhu. And finally Mahaprabhu agreed and gave beautiful instructions. He said, on the way, because Vrindavan that time was just a jungle, nobody traveled there. To Puri many people were coming, but Vrindavan was a desolated place in the jungle, with tigers and snakes and wild animals. So he said, "Be very careful when you travel on the path, and take some people with me, because there are very many thieves and robbers. And when you go to Vrindavan, take the shelter of Sanatana Goswami. He will show you all the 12 forests in Vrindavan. And don't climb Govardhan Hill. Govardhan is no different from Krishna. And tell Sanatan, hey Sanatan, I will be soon back the second time in Vrindavan." So this was the instruction and message that Mahaprabhu gave to Jagadananda. And Jagadananda went to Vrindavan and had a very beautiful time, and he stayed with Sanatana Goswami. Jagadananda was a very good cook, so he was staying nearby a temple and cooking, and Sanatana Goswami went begging a little rice or little fruits and brought it to Jagadananda, and Jagadananda was cooking. Then one day, Sanatana Goswami came and he put a red cloth on his head. Then Jagadananda became very angry. He said, "Hey, from where do you have this cloth?" "Oh, this is from some sannyasi that came, Mukunda Saraswati. He gave me this cloth." Jagadananda became very angry. "Why? You put the cloth of someone else on your head? Do you not have love for Mahaprabhu?" So Sanatana Goswami started to laugh and said, "I only put this cloth on my head to see your love towards Mahaprabhu, that you reveal your heart." In that way, Sanatana Goswami and Jagadananda, day and night, they were speaking about the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. And being there, Jagadananda could reveal so many pastimes to Sanatana Goswami. Then he was 2 months there. Then before coming, Sanatana Goswami gave a few gifts, and it was very special gifts. A little sand from the area of the Ras Lila he gave for Mahaprabhu, a stone from Govardhan Hill, pillow fruits and conch shells, like means gunja berries, these berries that Krishna likes. So that are actually, it said, they are none different from Srimati Radharani. So these gifts Jagadananda got to bring to Mahaprabhu. Now can you imagine what now Mahaprabhu feels in his heart, getting these gifts? He's anyway in so great separation from Vrindavan, and now he gets the sand from the Ras Lila. He puts it on his head, he takes it in his mouth. How much more the separation is increasing. So this whole pastime is actually just evoking more feelings of separation in Mahaprabhu. So being in Puri and receiving the gifts of the place of the Ras Lila, of the forest of Vrindavan, Mahaprabhu now was more and more lost in the separation and in the pastimes of Vrindavan. Now Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami tells there are 3 pastimes in the first chapters. Now he comes to the second pastime. Then now goes, what is the mood of Mahaprabhu? He always conceals what Mahaprabhu is telling. One day, Mahaprabhu was going to Yameshwar temple, the Shiva temple, and as he went there, he suddenly heard a female singer singing beautifully Gita Govinda. Gita Govinda is from a song written of Jayadev Goswami, and Gita Govinda is actually describing the spring Rasa Lila of Radha and Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam there is the autumn Rasa Lila described, and Gita Govinda the spring Rasa Lila. So hearing this beautiful song, Mahaprabhu just started to run towards where he heard this beautiful woman singing. He was just running. He forgot he ran even through bushes of thorns and was just running towards them, and Govinda saw it. He realized, hey, Mahaprabhu is a sannyasi. Now he just runs, forgets everything. So he ran behind Mahaprabhu, catched in the last moment his arm and took him back. And Mahaprabhu came to external consciousness, looked at Govinda and just said, thank you, you have saved me. So this whole pastime is actually showing now how is coming, like in these Leelas that describe the Ras Leela, how when Krishna plays the flute, how everybody actually is running out of their houses. Jayadev Goswami was previously living in Navadvip there in Champahata, and he had a beautiful dream of Mahaprabhu, or it was actually a dream, it was an appearance. Mahaprabhu appeared to him and gave his darshan and told him whenever I will go appear as sannyasi, I will go to Puri and I will relish this Gita Govinda. Please you go now to Puri and write the finish the Gita Govinda writing, and then I will always relish these pastimes. Jagannath is very attached to hearing Gita Govinda. Every day Gita Govinda is sang in the evening in Jagannath Mandir. One day a Pujari decided, now we will not sing Gita Govinda. It takes so long, and because sometimes something else is needed, so today we will not sing. And then Padmavati, she was a girl who sang every day. Some say it was actually the wife of Jaidev Goswami. She sang every day Gita Govinda. So then that evening she just left to the forest because she could not sing for Jagannath, and she was just singing in the forest Gita Govinda. But when Jagannath heard her voice in the forest, he was just running outside, running also behind this girl, like Mahaprabhu was running behind the woman. Jagannath was running behind, also through thorny bushes, and all the clothes were ripped apart, and was hearing Gita Govinda. And the Pujari opened and went into the deity room. He was shocked. I mean, imagine when Mukti Datri goes to altar, and Mahaprabhu just is somewhere in Amsterdam dancing in the streets, and she would be shocked. What has happened? So this Pujari was very amazed and fearful and in anxiety. So Jagannath understood the mood of the Pujari, and he returned back. And as the Pujari saw the ripped clothes of Jagannath, he said, okay, I understand, you're so eager to hear Gita Govinda. Now every day Gita Govinda will be sung. So Mahaprabhu had the same mood of running to the forest, and this is actually the beginning of Ras Leela. Now Krishna has attained the siddhis of his flute, we have heard, and this flute is now very powerful. And Krishna goes now to the Yamuna under a Kadamba tree, leans against the tree, stands in threefold form, puts his flute and concentrates on the heart of the gopis and the Radharani. And each person, actually it sounds that the flute is just calling everybody. But actually the flute has this power that each gopi was called very personally with a special message, an individual message for each gopi. So the full moon was there. We hear the beginning of the Ras Leela. The Malika flowers, so even it was autumn, the beautiful spring flowers were blooming up, and there's very hidden meanings also in Malika flowers. Mali is also a wrestler, so by speaking of Malika flower, Krishna expresses the desire, he wants to wrestle in love with the gopis. And Yogamaya arranged actually his own potency, or finally Srimati Radharani arranged everything. So the sky became a little reddish, and the moon appeared up there, so was touching actually the eastern direction is Indra's wife. So by touching this direction, by coming up, Krishna said, I'm from a very good dynasty, but I'm from the moon dynasty, so even the moon touches other people's wives, so I can also do. That was a small udipan for Krishna to also now call the gopis, also they were married to others. Actually in Goloka Vrindavan, the eternal Vrindavan is just a rumor. The gopis, a rumor, or like the gopis, they feel or think I'm married, but actually they are not married. It's just a thought or a feeling that they have. So hearing now the flute, they forget everything and they just run. Some are milking, the gopis are milking, and then they get, hey, Chandrakanta, come in the forest. So everyone was called by the name and with special messages. While they were milking the cow, they were just leaving everything and running. Some were cooking. Then hopefully this never happens to Ranga Devi at the moment. So they were cooking and they left everything and were just running. Some, it is said, some were even sitting on marriage ceremonies, but they were just running away to meet with Krishna. So they had their various household duties, but they all run to the forest to meet with Krishna in great anurag, in great feelings of praying, to start or to meet Krishna in the forest. So this is a little, this first chapter describing it. Then the third pastime in this chapter that is given by Krishna Das Kaviraj. We now always switch between Gaur Lila and Krishna Lila, but I think it's very relishing. Now Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhattacharya, Raghunath Bhatta, he was living in Varanasi with his parents, Tapan Mishra, and he met Mahaprabhu before. When Mahaprabhu traveled to Vrindavan on the way back 2 times, he had actually met Mahaprabhu. So now he had a great feeling to go to see Mahaprabhu in Puri. So Raghunath Bhatta went with the company of Ramdas Vishwas, a devotee, was a Ram Bhakta, but 24 hours chanting the holy name, completely absorbed. And he was so humble that he said, please, I want to carry your luggage. So finally, he said, why can you serve me? It is not a duty. You are a Brahman and I'm actually only a Shudra. Why are you serving me? This is not the proper etiquette. But finally he accepted, and Ramdas Vishwas was carrying everything to Caitanya Mahaprabhu in Puri. They met Caitanya Mahaprabhu, and Caitanya Mahaprabhu saw him, embraced him, and gave so much love and affection to Raghunath Bhatta. He stayed for 8 months in Puri with him, but to Ramdas Vishwas he didn't show so much affection. He wondered in his heart. But Ramdas actually was a little bit Mayavadi in his heart. Means he didn't accept or have real faith in the form of the Lord, in his personal form, and therefore Mahaprabhu was not really so much satisfied. Before leaving, Caitanya Mahaprabhu said, now when you go back, just serve your parents and never marry. Always be there for Krishna's service. And come back to Nilachal very soon. And he gave his own neck beat to Raghunath Bhatta. Raghunath Bhatta was crying in great separation, and they were just embracing each other. He went to Varanasi, and after 4 years, his parents died, and after that he went again for 8 months to Puri. And Caitanya Mahaprabhu again gave him great mercy and instructed him then to go to Vrindavan, to meet Rupa and Sanatan, and to always chant the Bhagavatam there that he has learned in Varanasi. At that moment before leaving, Mahaprabhu embraced Raghunath, and Raghunath's ecstatic love was awakened in his heart. He got a garland. Mahaprabhu just got a garland from Jagannath and Betelnath and gave everything to Raghunath and blessed him. And tears were just flowing, and Raghunath trembled in ecstasies. Now when he went and met Rupa and Sanatan, he, in a sweet voice like the cuckoo, he chanted in beautiful meters the Bhagavatam, and was absorbed in chanting the holy name. And all these ecstasies that Mahaprabhu has kind of gifted him with awakened more and more in his heart. he was day and night absorbed in the service. And Mahaprabhu promised that actually there he will meet the Lord of his heart. So in these pastimes, it gives a very beautiful hint for Ras Lila. Actually, it needs some qualification. When the gopis went out, it needed some qualification. They needed the great anurag, like the great feelings in their heart that they could run to Krishna. But there were some gopis that were not yet so matured, and they stayed in the house. And when they heard the flute, they wanted to run out, but their husbands stood with sticks in front of their house. Some gopis didn't mind, they were just running. But some became afraid and they stayed home. And they were crying in great separation. But it is said in this fire of separation, Krishna personally appeared and embraced them. And why could they not overcome this obstacle? It is said that these gopis, there's different explanation. One is said they had children, so they had too much attachment to the house and therefore they could not go. Some acharyas say actually nobody of them had any children. When it's spoken of children, it was just the children of their sister or their family. But another explanation that is given that some gopis had not yet the association of the Nitya Siddha gopis, of Radharani, Lalita, Vishakha, of all these great gopis, associates of Krishna. And they had not yet attained the higher stages of love. So it is showed here in this pastime in Bhagavatam, and also, maybe one more point is that it is then said when the gopis had so much separation, Krishna appeared in their heart, in great separation they left their body. But wouldn't it be so inauspicious if many gopis die in the village and Krishna wants to do Ras Lila? It would be very inauspicious. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, no, actually they didn't die. It is just their gunamaya body, like the body that is that contains still the gunas, the material elements. They have left this body and have attained the spiritual body to run and go out to meet Krishna. But another question comes up, how is it that all the husbands were not worried? I mean, David, if your wife runs out of the house, maybe you would feel a little angry or upset, or all of you. So, what happened? So, Yoga Maya was so creative and helpful. She manifested replicas. So, replicas that stayed home, and all the husbands thought, oh, my wife is in home. But actually, all the gopis have run, and only some replica gopis were doing nicely the household duties. So Yoga Maya arranges all pastime perfectly, made this arrangement. So in this chapter, Caitanya Mahaprabhu, Gopal Bhatta, Raghunath Bhatta, gaining this qualification of going to Vrindavan by being embraced by Mahaprabhu, is a little a parallel of this Leela, that only by the association of the great devotees, also on our level, when we want to go on higher level in our bhajan or in our absorption, the association of great devotees is very helpful. So Raghunath Bhatta got the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was embraced by him, and therefore could go to Vrindavan and actually there meet the Lord of his heart. So this Leela also shows a bit in another perspective, the adhikar of Caitanya Mahaprabhu, that whatever will follow in his pastimes, when you hear of the ecstasies and madness of Caitanya Mahaprabhu, that it was not just a crazy person, but he had the power, or the power and the stage also of love, where he could empower all other with Krishna prema, so that one is not doubting on whatever is coming. This lila is also given to establish a bit the adhikar. Now the gopis were running to the forest. Now what more will happen, we will hear shortly. I think now we'll make a short break. We had maybe to have a little summary. We heard of Caitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Caitanya Mahaprabhu, what is Ras Lila, and about the first chapter, chapter 13, of giving the introduction, how Mahaprabhu in complete ecstasy runs out like the gopis run toward Krishna, and even Jagannath Krishna himself runs for hearing Gita Govinda. So this is the love that the devotees have for the Lord, and the Lord have for the devotees. It's a very beautiful combination, and this is rasa, the relationship that now Krishna wants to taste. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, maybe some short question.
Is it then that the gopis you mentioned, you spoke about them twice in the last Leela? I think first you mentioned that Krishna expands himself to become the gopis.
Yeah.
And later you also mentioned that certain gopis didn't have the blessing of having the contact with Lalita and Vishaka. Would it then be safe to say that some gopis are like of Krishna's tattva and some are jivas?
Very good point you bring up. Actually, there are very different categories of gopis. Some gopis, now you mentioned, they are the kaya vyuhas, the manifestation of Krishna himself, his energy. They directly expand from him. These are the Nitya Siddha gopis, the externally like Radha, Lalita, Vishaka, all those main gopis. But then these are the Nitya Siddhas, but then there is the Sadhana Siddhas, means those who got perfection and could join. So, especially Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in this chapter mentions the Shruti Charis and the Rishi Charis. Means the Vedas, they wanted to join the Ras Lila, the Vedic scriptures, and also the Rishi Charis, when Ramachandra, which is here a picture, when Ram was in the forest in Dandakaranya, they were all these sages. They were so attracted by his beauty. But Ram said, I have a vrata, ekapatni vrata. I only take one wife in this life, but when I will come as Krishna, then I will accept all of you. So they are sadhana siddhas, and they got perfection, but some of them have not yet the association of them with Nitya Siddhas, and therefore they could not run out of the house. Thank you so much for clearing this point. It's very beautiful. Some other question that came up?
Yeah.
Yes, please. Actually, to this question you gave, we will later speak why Radharani became jealous. Maybe I can tell it now because you tell the question. We will also speak why the gopis become proud and why Krishna leaves her. But the question is also why becomes Radharani jealous? I mean, she is the most exalted devotee, and then it is that she became jealous of the other devotee, of the other gopis, no? But it's not the jealousy from this material world. It's irsha, it's a sensory bath actually. now actually all of us, we need to go into Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. My Gurudev always said, study Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, because when you want to become doctor, you need to have the vocabulary that you can speak with others. So in the same way, when we want to go a little into Rasa Shastra, we need the vocabulary, what is what. So Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that also Srila Prabhupada gave us, gives actually the ground foundation that we at all can speak on different terms. So Irsha is a Sanskrit Bhav, actually a great emotion in the heart. And Irsha always comes together on the stage of pranay. Means a very high stage of prema. Now I say something that may be a little bit difficult, just to take what you can, but maybe someone is there who can catch it and wants to catch it. So Radharani is never getting jealous. This feeling of jealousy, like this pranay, comes from pranay and is manifesting in man, in rejection of Krishna. This is only manifested in Radharani when Vipaksha gopis and Tatastha gopis are there. Means there are gopis that are in the same group of Radharani, in the same group. Whenever they are there, Lalita and Vishaka, Radharani never feels anything. But only when Chandravali, from other groups, the gopis are there, Radharani gets this feeling in the heart. So now how is it? The gopis also, Krishna only dances with me. This is the only thing the gopis saw, but Radharani saw, no, Krishna dances with everyone. How was this feeling? It's a good question, no? How was it? This is actually the manifestation of Mahaprabhu, that Radharani has so much love. So Krishna manifested himself, this is called Prabhav Prakash. So he makes a duplicate, no? Even it is said yogis can duplicate, I think, till 8 times. So Krishna can unlimitedly. So as much as gopis were there, Krishna was manifesting. That there was one Krishna for each gopi. And every gopi, and not only Krishna, this Prabhav Prakash is not that only Krishna doubled, but all the time, everything doubled. So every gopi was kind of alone with Krishna dancing in Vrindavan. This was the experience of each gopi. But Krishna himself, he saw, no, I see Radharani, so all gopis are dancing. And this is a manifestation of Mahabhav, that a symptom of Mahabhav, of this high love that Radharani has, is that she sees all prakash, I mean all chambers where all the gopis are in, she sees all manifestations of Krishna. Krishna cannot hide from Radharani. No, when he wanted to come as Narayan, Radharani immediately was not interested. She said, tell me, where is my Krishna? So Krishna cannot disguise, cannot hide, has no chance in front of the love of Radharani, because she sees all these manifestations, these different dhams that the gopis are in. So Radharani was seeing, and she got angry. And when Krishna saw her angry, that she became angry, Krishna gets fearful. What should I do now? Oh, my Radharani gets angry. So by force, she took Radharani by the hand and he went away from the rasa dance. And by the influence of Yoga Maya, nobody could really understand that Krishna had gone and that Radharani had gone. It was all covered by Yoga Maya. So it was all very mystically done. So how we came to it?
You want to elaborate on that point about the various kinds of gopis?
Various kinds of gopis. Thank you so much. Yeah.
And so I would like to ask that question then. Because in the beginning you were mentioning that Krishna is playing the flute, and then I was thinking that Krishna has 64 qualities. And 4 of them are qualities that none other of all his forms have. And one of those 4 is that he plays the flute. So if Krishna, if I'm right, and if Mahaprabhu is none different than Krishna, that means he should also have 64 qualities. Is that correct? And if so, if yes, then which quality of Mahaprabhu represents that quality of the flute playing of Krishna?
It's a very deep question. Very good. But actually, Mahaprabhu maybe have it inside, but he comes as a devotee. Whenever he comes in the mood also of a devotee, you know, in the mood of Radharani, so he covers this, how you say, these qualities. Many devotees say that the Sankirtan of Mahaprabhu is Krishna's flute, or the Mridanga of Mahaprabhu is Krishna's flute, and the cymbal, how you say, the kartals, are the ankle bells of the gopis. Some say like this. So, but everything is in a very covered and hidden way, because his Gupta avatar is very in a hidden way. And he never wanted to show that he, I mean, in some places he was showing his opulences, for example, but more in Navadvip, not really in Puri. When Advaitacharya, Advaitacharya sang about that he's the non-different from the Lord and sang his names, Mahaprabhu wasn't really so much pleased, because he wanted just to cover. Internally he was actually pleased, even when the devotees sang the names of Gauranga and Nityananda, but he was covering it, he was not like he was closing his eyes, because he wanted to stay in the role as a devotee and don't fall out. And every day Mahaprabhu, every day he went to Gadadhar Pandit in Tota Gopinath temple and was listening Srimad Bhagavatam and was so deeply absorbed in Srimad Bhagavatam. And Gadadhar, he cried so much, all his Bhagavatam was just dissolving. He could not read anymore. He was so ecstatic what they talked. And because it was Radharani herself now teaching Krishna. So when Mahaprabhu went back to the Gambhir, where he stayed for the night, there in the association of Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Roy, who are non-different from Lalita Vishaka. There is a verse in Caitanya Charitamrita that says actually Swarup Damodar is Lalita and Roy Ramananda is Vishaka, but in Gorganadesh Deepika it is said that some may say also differently, that one is the other. Anyway, but in the association of Lalita and Vishaka now, Krishna in the mood of Radharani wants now to make these experiences, whatever he has heard and being taught by Radharani, he's now practicing it and experience these ecstasies. So this is what Mahaprabhu realized, very deep and very mysterious.
Especially those, what you described as those, that he would behave in a certain way and be very angry, and then, but only for a certain sake, and then but internally he was happy. That's like, it's good that we have people who explain these things, because otherwise you really, how could you know? I mean, it's like, how could you know?
Actually, many times when you reach it and Charitamrita, many places, some pastime is described and some hint to the internal mood, but then Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami said, who understands the inner moods of Mahaprabhu? So it's so deep, and actually each verse of all this pastime can be so deeply explained and so detailed, but we don't have all this secret and detailed knowledge, and also now there is only time to just touch it a little bit, but I feel we get a little bit the inside of the depth and the mysteries of Caitanya and Krishna Lila. So thank you so much for your question. Maybe, Rangadevi, what is the plan?
I think we will have our lunch break and then we will continue, but how long would you like to have a break?
What's the time now?
4 o'clock.
Oh, 4, 5. Yeah, maybe, I think not more than a half an hour, no? So those who are on computer and take also your lunch now. Eat something and join us again. It would be very nice to dive a little more deep into Caitanya Lila. So thank you so much.
Haribol. Thank you.